Hello, I'm Heather.
And I'm Ryan.
Welcome to the podcast. It's game night, it's sibling rivalry, it's a walk down memory lane, but most importantly, it's politics free.
Guaranteed.
Hello, and welcome to the Politics Free podcast, round one of a little game called Stuff Happens. Here's how it works. We have a set of cards. Each one describes a horrible situation and is ranked on a misery index from 1, least miserable, to 100, most miserable. I'll rank 3 cards in the order of their misery index number, and then Ryan will have to correctly place a 4th card into that sequence. Then we'll turn it around, and I'll go. Whoever's guess is most accurate wins the ever-coveted Gloating Rights Trophy until we play again. Ryan, are you ready?
I am so ready. Let's do this.
Thank God. Here are your first 3 cards. Friend crashes your car. 83.1 on the misery index.
I was way lower than that.
Paycheck is lost. 57.1.
Okay. I was close.
Earbed. An earbed gets stuck in your ear. Also, earbud gets stuck in your ear. 24.1.
Dang! I was one off on that one.
Very nice. But because I changed the way that we did it from when I sent you the notes before, I will edit that out because it now seems weird.
Or maybe we could just explain that you told me to guess the misery index on every single one of those, and that's what I did. And now
I changed it on you. I'm the worst. All right. So what you've got to place, Ryan, in this sequence, first gray hair. And I just want to ask you a little question before we dive into that. When you got your first gray hair, A, do you even remember it? Because for me, it's a vivid memory planted in my brain.
No, I do not remember my first gray hair. I just remember one day noticing that I had flecks of gray in my hair, and that was that.
Okay. Well, let me tell you a little story. Senior prom. I met the hairdresser. I am sure there is a picture of this hairdo somewhere because it was a ridiculous. It was like curls and twists and permed things and just a mass of I don't know what on the top of my head. And as she's doing my hair, she goes, "Oh, you have a gray hair." I was a teenage woman and I said, "Oh, would you pluck it out?" Which she did.
Uh-huh.
And I drove home and a single tear cascaded down my youthful cheek and dripped off my chin into my lap. That was my first gray hair.
Were you wearing mascara at the time? Because that would have made that even better.
I don't remember, but let's just say yes, because that completes the story with just long streaks of mascara at prom.
Originally, you gave me these and you told me to rank them and guess where they were on the misery index.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to say that I correctly placed these in order.
Nice.
However, I was wrong on some of the numbers. I was wrong on all the numbers. Very close on the earbud, like 1 point off. About 5 points off or so on the lost paycheck, and about 30 points off on friend crashing a car.
Okay.
But yeah, to me, losing your car is worse than losing a paycheck because not having a car means you can't get more paychecks. So you're going to probably lose more than just a paycheck. Plus the expense of a new car.
I would agree with that. But sometimes if you have insurance, it might cover your friend crashing your car.
True.
And make it not as bad as getting your first gray hair.
It's true. However, if you only have liability and your friend is at fault, insurance isn't going to do you much good.
Disclaimer, we are not injury attorneys. Or any kind of attorneys.
Well, I mean, that's how liability works. Liability covers the people you crashed into.
And I'm covering our asses here on this podcast.
Okay.
I don't know. Somebody might be like, I took legal advice from the Politics Free podcast. I don't know what people do. All right, so where are you putting first gray hair?
Okay, look, I don't know how it is for other people. I mean, like I said, it was not a big deal for me. And gray hairs, like my beard and my hair is full of gray hairs, and it doesn't like even bother me in the slightest.
Mm-hmm.
So I put it at 5.
Okay.
I would put it at 0, but I'm sure there's something there for most people, and I'm sure it's higher than 5, but I'm saying 5.
Okay, so you're putting it last on the list, least miserable of all the things on the list.
It's gotta be. If it's
Okay.
higher than getting an earbud stuck in your ear, there's something wrong with people.
I'm putting it at a 50.
There's something wrong with you, Heather.
Ryan, are you ready to find out where first gray hair falls on the misery index?
Better not be 50.
57.2.
Are you
joking? I'm
kidding me?
joking.
Oh.
I'm joking. 6.5. You were very
Yes!
close. And you correctly placed it in order as well. But you don't have the gloating rights trophy just yet, because now it's my turn.
All right, Heather. Here are your 4 cards.
Okay.
Your heart surgeon graduate. How do I know you didn't see the score on this already?
I promise I did not look. It's all I can do. I'm the one with the cards. What do you want? Ryan, I didn't cheat. I promise you I didn't cheat.
All right. You
Cross
ready?
my heart and hope to die. Stick a needle in my eye. And other things that rhyme. Go on.
Okay, so your heart surgeon graduated at bottom of class.
Mhm.
95.3.
Wow, they put that way up there.
I feel like that's information they're not going to tell you, though. So you will never know.
But hold on. What if they graduated on the bottom of a class full of absolute geniuses and the difference was almost nothing between what the top of the class got?
Right, yeah, like everybody passed at like high 90s and you're like 95%.
Yeah, or however they score heart surgeon school. I
Right.
don't know.
All right, jogging and baseball-sized hailstorm? Really? 28.2?
That's much higher. That is so much higher.
Yeah, you're dead. You're dead.
Exactly. I was like, well, let's see. I'm going to get bludgeoned to death by Mother Nature in this circumstance.
Yeah, there are baseballs falling from the sky. You're dead.
Yeah, agreed.
Especially if there are no trees around, there's no cover, you're dead. That's 100. That's 100. All right. Booger on hot dog, 16.3. Depends. Is it my booger or is it somebody else's booger? Because if it's somebody else's booger, it's going to be a lot higher.
Ryan, I want you to bear with me for this.
Okay.
It's going to seem like I'm talking about something totally unrelated, but I'm going to swing back to it.
Okay.
At one point, my daughter Holly, when she was 5, went through this phase where she was just asking me to Google really gross stuff so she could see the Google images.
Oh.
We Googled worms and poop.
Okay.
We Googled stitches. We Googled decaying animal corpses. This was a really great parental moment for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of parents that would be like, no, I'm not Googling that for you. But I was like, sure, let's go.
Yeah.
Number of other things. We, like scalp disease. I was just like, how do you know about these things? This is weird that I'm Googling this for you. Finally, she goes, I want to Google snot. So I Googled some snot images and I couldn't look at them. I started to gag in my mouth. I was like, oh, no, we're not looking at these. We're not. After looking at all these other horrible things, we got to snot and I checked out. I was like, no. So when you're
Interesting.
telling me booger on a hot dog, and what are my other choices here? I've got,
Heart surgeon graduated at bottom of class, 95.3.
okay, booger on a hot dog is worse than that. Please continue.
Okay, but that's also understandable because, as we discussed for reasons, okay, jogging
in our imaginary world, our heart surgeon was not that far from the top of the class.
Yeah, he was like low 90s.
Yeah.
Or mid 90s.
No, he was mid 90s.
Mid 90s,
Stop
that's right.
making him go lower.
I'm sorry. Jogging in baseball-sized hailstorm.
I'm putting Booger
No, you're not.
higher than that. 30. I'm putting Booger at 30. Booger on a hot dog, 30.
You're terrible at this game. Booger on a hot dog, 16.3.
16.3.
16.3. You have to place develop eczema.
Okay.
You put it in capitals, all caps, so I that's how
I did so that it would be obvious to you, not so that you could emphasize that it was there. Okay.
Do I get to make a guess? Oh no, you guess this, right?
You can make a guess, but only my guess counts. So like if you're way off, say, or you're really close, you don't get any extra points for that.
Then I'm not going to guess.
Do you want to guess just to have extra gloating rights? Because you can get extra gloating rights by guessing right if I don't.
Okay, I've placed it in my head.
Okay, so we've already determined that if you're jogging in baseball-sized hailstorm, they have ranked this so low. That's death. That's a death sentence.
Mm-hmm. But I also don't trust this game, so...
Well, I also don't trust the heart surgeon, so what do I do about this? Well, okay. Developing eczema...
their team of experts is literally people they hired off Craigslist. Anyway, continue.
I think that's worse than jogging in a baseball-sized hailstorm. Is it worse than death, which means it's worse than death?
Is it worse than death, Heather? Careful. Careful.
Anybody who has eczema has left this episode. They're gone right after I said that. It's obviously not worse than death. I guess I would have to put it between Booger on a hot dog and jogging in baseball-sized hailstorm. I'll put it at 25.
I, just for giggles,
I'm
going to guess that our team of experts have placed it higher than jogging in baseball-sized hailstorm. And I'm putting it at 32.5.
Okay. Well, I'm waiting with bated breath. What's the answer?
Oh, you didn't give me the answer.
Oh, I have the answer here. So sorry I couldn't give you the answer because then I would have known the answer. I guess that's how that works. Okay. Since I have the cards. So let's find out what this says. Develop eczema, 84.1 on the misery scale. And so now I have to ask if anybody listening to this battles eczema, is it legit at 84.1 on your misery scale? I have got to know because I do not have experience with this. And I feel like it can't be that high.
That's just below your heart surgeon graduated at the bottom of class. Yeah.
My heart surgeon might kill me, but I've got eczema. That blows my mind that they put it that high.
I feel like our team of experts have not been hit with blunt objects.
Maybe they have had eczema. Maybe that's the problem.
Listen, I have taken 2 baseballs to the face, and it is painful. I could not imagine just jogging along, minding my merry business, and then all of a sudden I have massive amounts of baseballs hitting me on every square inch of my body.
That's so much worse than developing eczema. Isn't it being bludgeoned to death by hailstones?
Yes. That is absolutely worse. I mean, because you're going to die. You're going to die.
Maybe the experts that made the misery index don't know what a baseball is.
Maybe.
I mean, don't know how big it is. Maybe they've only seen it on TV, so they think it's like the size of a, I don't know, small pea, perhaps.
I would then stand by my claim that our experts were hired on Craigslist.
And I think you'd be right about that. All right, well, let's score this up. So I did not get mine in the right place. Ryan, you won, but because you were all like, how do I know you can be honest about keeping the running score? We're going to do it on air to leave a record behind.
Okay. So Ryan 1, Heather 0.
That is a really easy way to keep the score. Let's do that. That's a better scoring system.
Hold on, Heather. Like, how close do we have to get to score a point?
Well, see, here's the system I was going to do. For example, you said first gray hair. You put it in the right sequence, and you guessed that it would be a 5. So it's a 6.5. So your difference is 1.5. You were 1.5 off. And then I was going to give you a bonus point for getting the right sequence. So your score would be 0.5.
Okay.
My score, because I guessed 25 and it's 84.1, would be... getting the calculator out, and then I'm going to edit out this pause later so it looks like I did mental math. 59.1, and I didn't get the right sequence, so I don't even get a bonus point. So right now the score is 0.5 Ryan, 59.1 Heather. Whoever has the lowest score at the end would be the winner.
Okay.
In the
Gotcha.
intricate system I developed for scoring. But then there's also Ryan 1, Heather 0.
Okay.
Which we're going to stick with because that's a lot less math to do at the end of every episode.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. Well, that's it, everybody. I guess that's round 1. Stuff happens. Ryan won that one. He gets the Gloating Rights trophy for a week.
That's right.
And he will text me about that, undoubtedly.
I will try to remember now.
Now, as we mentioned earlier, if you, and we don't mean to be insensitive about it, but I genuinely would like to know if you are battling with eczema, on your misery index, are you 84.1 out of 100?
There's also varying degrees of it. I mean, there's some that's like really bad. Like I worked with this guy that his fingernails were like affected by his eczema. And the only way I could describe his fingernails is they were like really like extremely thick and lumpy and cracky. And I thought that he had injured, like, because I saw his thumbnail. And so we would flip each other's shit like all the time, just for whatever, right? And so I saw his thumbnail for the first time. I finally noticed it, and I was like, dude, what the fuck did you do to your thumbnail? And he was like, oh, that's real great. You're making fun of a guy with eczema. And then he stormed off. And it looked painful. So, like, I could imagine, like, if your fingernails are, like, constantly in pain.
Yeah.
You know, like, I know it affects the skin. It's, like, thick and patchy and itchy all the time. Like, I could imagine it being unpleasant to live with.
Yeah, I could too, and I imagine it must have been pretty painful. Let us know. We'd be interested to hear from you. You can visit our website, thepoliticsfreepodcast.com, and leave us a voice message or email us from there. And I'm sure we'll want to share it on the podcast. And speaking of sharing, if you like the podcast, please do share it. Tell a friend. Text them a link to an episode you enjoyed, or share it on social media. That would be much appreciated. Until we play again.
Until next time.